Hello, just a follow-up. So, well, technically it's past midnight, so it's the 19th of April of 109th day, but previous video was about 108. And, where are we? Okay. Oh, I don't want that. Okay, so this was one of the cards I used, and how 108 is one of these really nice things in regard, well, Sun, Earth, Moon, and Saturn as well, not just the diameter, not just the relationship of size and distance, but also the speed as well. So, for instance, 108,000 kilometers per hour is also Saturn, Kronos, the timekeeper, 108,000 kilometers for polar diameter. But so let's use that one to get that out of the way. And so 108 times 2 is 216. And how is that a cool number? Well, so 10,800,000 long feet, the diameter of the moon. But in miles, as we know and love them now, we should. 2,160 miles is the diameter of the moon. And there I had, so the maximum visible equatorial circumference. So around the equator, what's the circumference? Well, the most you can see is 10,800, and know that's nautical miles. And so the whole circumference of the Earth in nautical miles is, by definition, is exactly 21,600 nautical miles. And back to Saturn. What's the orbital speed of Saturn? 21,600 miles per hour. So again, this nice link, with 108, and then you could go further into 432 and 864, but how does 216 count and connect? Well, it also has nice connections to, so for instance, nautical miles, circumference of the Earth, equatorial, 21,600 nautical miles. That's by definition, because just as in the 360-degree compass, each degree is broken up into 60 minutes, so there are 21,600 minutes in a 360-degree compass, and that's why it is 21,600 nautical miles. The moon we also showed, but when it comes to precession, so of the 12 ages, 25,920 years in the great year divided into the 12 ages, that's 2,160, same number as we have with the moon. And also we look at the Platonic solids, the cube. There are 6 faces, and each one of those, well, that works out, so the number we could associate to that in degrees is 2,160. So 2,160 miles for moon, to 2,160 degrees the cube, and 2,160 years per Platonic month, each age of the great year. And in New Jerusalem, the description of it, the walls of New Jerusalem are 216 feet, sometimes described as 144 cubits, but that's 216 feet, depends which version. One will be 1/4. Well, it's still that same measurement as well. And also brings us back to, well, the Vesica, especially the equilateral triangle of 60 degrees. Well, that's 216,000 when you break it down into seconds of the compass. So again, 216, 216, 216, and 6 cubed, 666. Well, that's 216, but across you could say it's a beautiful third dimensional number, because 216 equals 1 to the third times 2 to the third times 3 to the third. So 1 cubed times 2 cubed times 3 cubed as well brings us 216. And I haven't updated this one, but again, we come back to the orbital speed of Saturn, which is that nice 108,000 kilometers, which blends in nicely to all these other things. So for instance, the radius of the moon is 1,080 miles, just like the diameter of the sun times 1,080 is a distance from the sun to Saturn. So these harmonic numbers, these lovely numbers, it's a lovely way to, at the very least, to remember all these other aspects of it. Now you can go a different road and look at why and how and where. Well, I can't really answer those questions. Nevertheless, it's still, at the very least, it's a really nice, simple way to remember some really important basic astronomical facts. If you go to your standard school and the education system, they'll throw a bunch of sort of random numbers with a long string of decimals behind it. It's all very sciencey. Yet, what do we have here? Cool sets of numbers: 216, 108 times 2, geometry, astronomy, systems of measurement in arithmetic as well. So there you go.